Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to The Real Cost of Bad Data, How to Reclaim Control Before 2026. I'm Sarah Linich, and I'm a sales leader here at Lighthouse supporting our business intelligence team. I work with hotels and hotel groups every day who are trying to navigate the same things many of you are facing. More data, more complexity, more systems, more pressure to make fast, accurate decisions with less time and fewer resources than ever before. What I hear constantly from teams I work with is this feeling of, I know the answers are in the data somewhere, I just don't have time to dig for them. Or even, I have so many different sources of truth that I don't know which one to trust. If that resonates, you're in the right place. Our goal today is to make this session practical, clear, and genuinely useful. Whether you're a longtime customer looking to optimize your data quality, or you're exploring what Lighthouse data can unlock for your team in 2026. I am joined by Kelly Hillis, our Senior Product Manager. Kelly, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. And yes, I'll take it back over to you, Sarah.
Great. Kelly's the product mind behind much of what you'll see as she walks through the platform later. And she is incredible at not just showing the tool, but showing the why it matters and how it fits in your day-to-day rhythm. And you'll also see Heidi in the chat throughout the session. She is a senior director for our solutions engineering team. She is answering questions live. So if anything sparks a thought or you want us to go deeper on a specific part of the Lighthouse platform, drop it in there. We want this hour to be interactive. Before we jump into the content, I want to set the stage. For anyone new to Lighthouse, we're the leading commercial platform for the hospitality industry, and that's intentional. We're built for hospitality, not adapted from another industry. Our job is to take the complexity you deal with, disconnected systems, conflicting reports, changing demand patterns, comp behavior that shifts every single week, and turn it into clarity you can actually act on. Not theory, not guesswork, clarity. We're trusted by over 70,000 hotels in 185 countries. And I think what really sets Lighthouse apart is the way we partner with our customers. Our best features, the one that solve real pain points, they didn't come from a whiteboard. They came from conversations with people like you. All right, let's talk about what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to talk about the real cost of bad data, because this is something every team feels, even if we don't always call it what it is. Second, we're going to walk through the 4 pillars of making your data accurate, relevant, up to date, and usable. This is the foundation of many modern commercial strategy. And honestly, it's where most teams get stuck. And third, Kelly is going to take it home with a walkthrough of key features in the Lighthouse platform, so you can see all of this in action and not in theory. This is where it clicks. Okay, let's start with a quick pulse check. How often do you struggle with bad data? A, never. B, rarely. C, sometimes. D, often. Or E, all of the time. This is anonymous, so feel free to be completely honest or throw it in the chat, which we love. Thank you so much. I'm seeing lots of folks coming in here. And I'll tell you, across the hundreds of hotels we support, the most common answers are often and all the time. So if that's you, you're in really good company. Yeah, seeing lots of E, absolutely. Makes so much sense. It tracks. Really, really, really appreciate the honesty here. All right. So, what does this mean for us? 71% of revenue professionals say data complexity is increasing. And let's be honest, most of us didn't need a survey to know that. You're dealing with more channels, more booking patterns, more systems, more data sources, shorter booking windows, and bigger demand swings, and fewer people on the team. If you don't have a reliable BI foundation, everything starts to feel reactive instead of strategic. And y'all, that's exhausting. All right, let's talk about why this matters. Bad data isn't a spreadsheet issue. It's a revenue issue, a trust issue, and an efficiency issue. Here's what it actually costs your business. Number one, lost revenue, because decisions are slow or based on incomplete or stale information. Number two, wasted time. Teams spend hours reconciling reports instead of actually planning and forecasting. Broken internal trust. If sales, revenue, and marketing are all looking at different numbers, alignment goes out the window. Operational efficiency, or I like to say operational drag. You're constantly fixing or explaining the data instead of using it. And missed signals. Market shifts, comp changes, demand spikes. Honestly, you see them too late, and eventually you get compounding errors. Once you start on the wrong foot, every decision after that gets a little messier. And if any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. Okay, so how do we get out of that cycle? You build your BI foundation on 4 pillars. Number one, accurate. You have to trust the numbers. Otherwise, no amount of dashboards will help at all. It won't make a difference. Relevant. The data should tie directly to your business goals, not just drown you in noise. Up to date. In hospitality, outdated data doesn't just slow you down, it misleads you. Usable. If your team can't interpret it quickly, it won't drive any action. Everybody's just running around trying to figure out what numbers are the most important. Good BI isn't about having more information, because let's be honest, there's a lot. It's about having the right information. And here's where Lighthouse really shines. This is the scale we operate at every single day. 1.8 billion hotel prices, 22 million star and hotel listings, 169 terabytes of raw data, and 1.5 billion hotel and flight searches. This gives you something most teams don't have: a real-time view of what's happening right now. Not what happened last week or last month or in a spreadsheet that somebody emailed around maybe before or after they had their morning cup of coffee. Now, accuracy is great, but it has to be consistent. This is where automation comes in. With automated quality checks, you can validate every single refresh, catch anomalies before they hit reports, keep all departments aligned, spend way less time digging, cleaning, and double checking, and finally, free up your team for actual strategy. This is what gives commercial teams confidence, when they know the data is right before they even start their conversation. Then there's benchmarking, and this one is huge. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it, but Kelly's going to go into it more in depth. But static comp sets do not work anymore. Markets shift way too fast. We use AI to update comp sets based on actual consumer buying behavior, not just proximity, brand, or star class. Why? Because your guests are telling you who your true competitors are. As demand patterns shift, as new players appear, as pricing behavior changes, your comp sets adjust automatically. It stays relevant without needing manual rebuilds. And finally, this is the piece that ties it all together. Even if your data is pristine and perfect, if it's not visual and easy to interpret, it cannot drive action. Your dashboards must be simple, prioritized, role-specific, which is huge, filterable, easy to read, and built around your business goals. Your team shouldn't have to go digging for insights. They should be presenting themselves on a silver platter to help you drive faster decisions, smarter decisions, and more aligned decisions. Okay, enough of me talking. Before we jump into Kelly, I would love to hear from you. What are some steps you are currently taking today to maintain data quality? Drop your approach or even your pain points in the chat. Heidi is on it. See what comes in. I see the accuracy is really important and delayed sometimes from a third party. Absolutely. Any pain points? I know it a lot happens. There is many disparate systems, throwing so much data at everyone that I know it's really, really difficult to figure out what's important and what's not. And so, yes, I love that. Verification between systems is huge. Checks and balances, making sure that everything is ticking time like it's supposed to. Love this. Absolutely. Okay. Enough about me, enough of me talking. Now for the real star of the show. This is where everything comes together. You've heard the why and the how. Now let's look at what it actually looks like inside Lighthouse. I'm going to pass it over to Kelly Hillis, our Senior Product Manager, and she's going to walk you through the key features of the platform, showing exactly how your team can act fast, stay aligned, and make confident, data-driven decisions. Kelly, take it away.
Amazing. Thank you. Let me get my screen ready for you guys. All right. Just Sarah, if you could confirm that you can see that.
We are good to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Sarah. As Sarah alluded to, we live in an era where data is abundant. In fact, the hospitality industry, we are drowning in it. Every click, every search, every review, it's all noise. And the biggest challenge you face today isn't finding the data, it's making sense of it fast enough to actually do something about it. That is exactly why we are here. We don't just sell software, we sell clarity. And I'm going to walk you through some of the ways that we are bringing clarity to our users. First, let's talk about strategy. You cannot have a conversation about strategy without market insight entering the conversation. In the past, revenue managers and hotel teams had to be reactive. You looked at what happened yesterday to guess what might happen tomorrow. Well, we are flipping that model on its head. As Sarah told us earlier, we ingest billions of data points, to give you a holistic view of market demand that is simply unmatched. We aren't just looking at your PMS. We are pulling from OTAs, meta sites, GDS channels, flight websites, review platforms, and even event data. You might be asking yourself, why are we doing this? We want to give you opportunity identification. Imagine knowing that for a specific Tuesday next month, something that may have never even crossed your radar, search volume is skyrocketing, but the market price is still sitting low. That is what we call pre-booking behavior. That is a gap in the matrix today. Our system identifies that specifically so you can capture that business before your competitors even realize the demand is there. It's not just data, it's a head start. You no longer have to wait around for your booking window to be smart. Get ahead of the curve. Our second feature today, we're going to be talking about business intelligence. As we've kind of talked about a couple times already, we have to be really honest with ourselves. Data is useless if it takes you 4 hours to interpret it. That's where BI steps in. We know your time is limited and valuable. So that is why every single day after your hotel processes, we send you a daily glance. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a snapshot of the critical metrics that you need delivered right to you. There's no digging, there's no complex queries, just the truth every single morning. But we didn't stop there. We are proud to introduce an industry first with our Smart Summary solution. This is AI-driven analysis at its finest. Before this, your revenue managers were spending hours manually writing up reports to explain where your hotel stood. Today, we do that analysis for you so you can get to the things that matter most. Smart Summaries translate complex data into language everyone understands. This means everyone. When I say that your front desk team to your general manager to your leadership above property, they're all reading from the same page. We have found that this feature alone saves revenue managers an average of 6 hours a week. That is nearly a full workday given back to them to focus on strategy rather than data entry. We've obviously touched upon a lot of data here, but what we also do in our business intelligence solution is that we give you a heads up about your data quality. So every single day when your data processes, most workflows are going to run 2 types of data, which is summary and reservation. We are going to let you know when those things have updated. If your summary has updated like we have here in this example, you'll see that it looks good, the data looks good, but our reservation is giving us a poor quality flag. That means that there's something in that data that doesn't look quite right to us. We do that so that we can give you a heads up like, hey, you might want to check this. And that way you can make sure you are making the right decisions off the right data. When we're dealing with this much data, Transparency is the key, which is where we really try to get this data quality check to land home for everybody. And the next one, I do want to put a trigger warning up. I know that many of you are in the throes of budget season, but hopefully you're either wrapping it up or maybe it hasn't been too painful. But we do have a brand new forecast and budget module that landed this summer. It's going to have all of the critical metrics that your teams need to make smart decisions and gives you the tools to make your forecasting and budgeting much easier. So this data not only lives within these modules, but it also lives throughout the application to give you pretty easy to use access to compare to how your hotel's doing. That daily glance I just showed you, your budget and forecast is in there. We don't really have a picture of it right here, but one of the really nifty things about this tool is that we have what we call a bulk edit. A client tell me recently that they were able to do their entire budget season in less than 10 minutes, which that's a pretty big win. So let that speak for itself. But we have other tutorials that we have available if you'd like to see more about the budget and forecast. We could talk about it for an hour, but I'm not going to do that for you today. Last, but certainly not least, we do not operate in a vacuum, nor do we pretend to. We all have competitors, whether we like it or not. And our Benchmark Insight solution is your competitive radar. It allows you to understand exactly where you stand in the market, spot emerging trends, and see clearly what steps you need to take to outperform the hotel down the street. And with our Smart CompSet, which is a feature of Benchmark Insight, we ensure you are measuring yourself against the right competitors, adapting as the market shifts. For decades, and I'm sure a few of us on the call all know too well that we defined our CompSet based on gut feeling or geography. You pick the 4 hotels down the street, you lock them in, and then you measure them against yourself forever. But the market doesn't work that way anymore. A traveler looking for a luxury experience might be comparing you to a boutique property 5 miles away that may have never been on your radar. That is where Smart CompSet changes the game. We don't just ask you to guess your competitors, we use AI to reveal them. Our algorithm scans a significantly wider range of hotels than a human ever could. It looks at pricing patterns, guest reviews, amenities, and star ratings across the entire market to generate a Smart CompSet that reflects who is actually stealing your bookings, not just who is geographically close. But we also know that you are the expert on property. We don't replace your intuition, we enhance it. You have the ability to specify your preferences with Smart CompSets by filtering by distance, star rating, or price point to guide the AI. The result, you get a dynamic, AI-generated list of relevant competitors that evolves as the market evolves. It ensures you are benchmarking yourself against the competitors that matter. Just some things to say here to close it off. The choice today is simple. You can keep drowning in spreadsheets and reactive decisions, or you can harness the power of billions of data points, save a day of work every week with AI, and outmaneuver your competition with precision. Let's stop looking at the data and let's start winning with it. So I think here we are going to kind of take it to everybody that's here for questions. We have a poll. I think this is our last one. We just kind of want to ask you, are you ready to power your 2026 strategy with reliable Lighthouse data? If you're saying absolutely, give us an A, maybe later, that's great. Just give us a B. And then C, no thank you. You already have what you need for accurate data.
Awesome. And while those are coming through, Kelly, thank you so much. That was fantastic. I think this is really important because you love seeing how clearly the platform brings everything together. When your data is relevant, up to date, and usable, it gets so much easier to keep your business in focus and competition in check. And I love seeing all of these A's in the chat. Like, we are 100% here for y'all to help figure out your 2026 strategy, which is fantastic. And we will continue to have those roll in while Kelly and I are chatting over here. But definitely, it sounds like Smart CompSets are the hot ticket. Kelly, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about those while we're working through the poll. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, everybody. So the Smart CompSets, yes, I see that Heidi has confirmed that they are live. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, it is a part of our Benchmark Insight product. What's great here is that with your Benchmark Insight product, you have a different a few different ways to look at your benchmarking. So you have market, class, and market. But what we really tried to hammer home with the smart comp sets is allowing users to really specify who they want to compare themselves with. And so, like I mentioned a little bit ago, but always helpful to mention again, is we're going to take a few of the metrics that are really important, like your distance, your star rating, all those types of things, and allow you to basically choose what's important to you to compare yourself against. So we're going to take that AI, power, and then we're going to take your preferences, since you are the expert of your hotel, blend them together, and then that's really where the magic happens for the smart comp set.
That's amazing. I think that's huge. It's also super, super important with that. So Kelly, thank you so much. And there's a couple more questions in the chat is talking about smart comp set. Is it a part of the Lighthouse BI package? Oh, great. Heidi's on it, y'all. We don't even need to address these live. Heidi is a wonderful human being and a treasure, and we're so grateful to have her today. But let's see if there's any more questions that come through. Obviously, Kelly and I are here to answer these for you. Heidi is on top of it. We had lots of A's that came through for that. I know I've seen a bunch about comp sets. Any questions about forecasting, data sources? Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit through about what's in the BI package?
Yeah, and I think I see a question about the forecast and budgeting as well. But we have different tiers, and I think I don't think Tanner actually has the thing, but we have different tiers available that include different aspects of your BI tiers. If you answered A, we can definitely give you a little bit more information. It'll probably make a little bit more sense instead of me just going top line. But I do see that Ryan asked a question about what forecast model does LBI use. I'm assuming you mean Lighthouse BI. We do have our own algorithm for forecasting. It is updated every single day whenever your hotel runs, and it's available in most pages in your in your business intelligence platform. You also have the ability, depending on what systems you use, to bring in your RMS forecast. And then if you're in a specific tier, you can also bring in your finance forecast, depending on what third-party system you use. And then we also have the ability to have your own user forecast. So we're throwing a lot of forecasts at you, but you also now have a brand new ability that you can have more than one user forecast. For anybody, I do see that we have a couple of clients that have been with us for a while. I don't know if you've noticed, but you now have the ability to have more than one budget and forecast that's created by the users. Not only that, you also have the ability to lock them, archive them, name them cool things. You can name them after yourself if you'd like to. And then next week, we'll also be adding the ability to duplicate those forecasts and budgets. So we have a bunch of different options, trying to come up with every solution that our users might need. Is there any way to request additional filters in the BI section and to be able to take some info out as comp house use and hold rooms? I don't know exactly what you're looking for in terms of filters. Based off your comment, I would definitely recommend reaching out to customer care. They're very, very clever when it comes to our filters. And if it's not something that we support today, they do bring that up to the product team so that we can then answer them. But we have quite a few different options in the to basically make the data work for you. And Ryan asked, does Lighthouse integrate with HIA finance software? We don't currently today, but you certainly can put that request in, and then that will go to the integrations team for a future integration. But Ryan, to your point, if you're already doing your forecast or budget in another system, we do have an upload feature within the forecast and budget module that you can copy and paste your data in and then upload it into BI in the meantime while we wait for that integration. And Pascal asks, how is it about development to PMS interfaces? We are working with an interface which is not supported.
Give Kelly just a moment to come back. I know that she was in the middle of answering that question, so there she is, coming back.
And they'll float that through us as well.
Oh, Kelly, can you walk through that one more time? We lost you for just a moment.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop. All right, I'm not presenting anymore. Great. Okay. So if you have a PMS that you would like us to integrate with, you can do a couple of things. You can reach out to customer care or your account manager if you have one. And with that, they can either route that directly to the product team, or they can, or you can request it for LDS, which you can do again through your account managers. And basically, this is a new integration partnership that we've been working on. And so we have a couple different avenues for this, but it certainly doesn't hurt to ask. And the PMS that you might be asking about might already be on our roadmap. So they can also help kind of answer those questions as well.
Great, super helpful. Radhika asked, is there a webinar for new Lighthouse users or starters?
I would have to route that to Tanner whenever he can answer, but we do have a ton of resources that I know we have available. And I would recommend reaching out. I don't know if you're already a Lighthouse client. If you're not, it could be part of your onboarding questions, but we do definitely have resources. And we have a very robust help article section within the application, which a lot of them have videos and things of that nature.
And we also have a Crackerjack implementation team that walks you through all of the ways to set up and best uses and best practices. And so we do kind of handhold through that implementation process to give that to you as well. But as far as a webinar, I think we'll have to defer to Tanner on that one, of course. Awesome. Donna wants to know, do we integrate with Visual Matrix PMS?
We do. I don't know the state of that integration at this point, but we can definitely get back to you. Donna, I would recommend reaching out to our customer care team to give you a definite answer, but it's definitely one that's on our radar if it's not currently live right now.
Perfect. And then, oh, perfect. It looks like, and then the last one, I think for Ryan, they have hotels in contract. Is their development to have similar view of booked, blocked as is true with group?
So we are undergoing a replatforming initiative with BI, and I'm talking about Legacy Spider for anyone who's been around for a little while. And we do plan on highlighting contract more. I don't have definites on exactly what that will look like at this time, but it is something that we definitely have scoped and researched, and that's kind of the plan moving forward.
Amazing. Great. Excellent questions. I feel like this has been incredibly, incredibly valuable. I think there's just a lot of opportunities for us to help everyone steer their 2026 strategy. I want to give it just a couple more minutes to see if there's going to be any more questions come in. Obviously, this is being recorded and you can review at any time. Heidi's been all over the questions. Obviously, special thank you to Tanner in the background for keeping us all in line and making sure that we were able to get this done for y'all today. But Kelly, anything additional before we wrap up for today?
I don't think so. I would just say for anyone that's interested, we have a lot of very exciting things coming to all of our current products and some things that we didn't even highlight today. So I definitely recommend, if you're interested or if you think your teams could benefit, it's definitely worth the conversation.
100%. We absolutely appreciate everyone for being here today. Thank you for being engaged in chat. Thank you for taking this journey a bit with myself and Kelly. We appreciate your time, your energy, and the work you and your teams are doing every single day. We are super excited to support you as you build a confident, data-driven strategy for 2026 and beyond. And for those of you that selected A, you will absolutely be hearing from us. Anybody else, we're always here to help and support, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.